Welcome back to Animal Crossing Wild World. It's been a while, but my exam is over, thank goodness, and I can record again. Yay! How has everyone been? I hope that you've been well. The world is continuing to be a terrible place. In fact, it's worse than before. From Teddy. Oh no. Oh, thank goodness, I thought he was moving. Oh yeah, Carmia, guess what? I was born on September 26th, so it's almost my B-Day. Come to the party, bring a gift. Later, man. Teddy. I'd better remember to get him a gift. Okay, from Static, that might be moving out. Attention, Carmia, I moved. Yep, moved, gone, huh? Oh, come on, stop crying. Stop it. We'll meet again. Probably. See ya, from Static. I never got to know you, so I'm not exactly shaken up about it. So there's that. Alright, I haven't picked fruit in a while. I won't do all of that on screen, I promise. But let's see. Okay. I was almost going to say something about like the terrible state of the world and the fires, and you know what? No. I mean, it's terrible, and I really hope that everyone's safe if any of you live in the West. And it's really, really, really dreadful. And I'm shocked that even places like Oregon and Washington, which are a lot wetter, are burning, but it's terrible. But anyway, terrible. But I don't really want the whole episode to be taken up by discussing depressing things. So I'm going to discuss something far less depressing and more interesting, which you probably will not have seen on the headlines. There might be life on Venus. I know you're thinking, but Venus is so hot, it has such a crazy atmosphere. How could anything live there? Well, scientists have found large amounts of phosphine, a gas which is released by microbes breaking down matter. And it's actually considered a really good marker of life because there's nothing else, no natural, ecological, geological process which should be able to create any significant amounts of phosphine in a planet's atmosphere. And I mean, they may still find something else that's causing it. Maybe some of the crazy conditions on Venus have made it possible, but it is possible. It's possible that it's actually being created by microbes. They're in a layer of Venus's atmosphere, the phosphine, which is actually much milder temperature-wise. The Scientific American article describes it as balmy, even. Yeah, I'm absolutely in shock. I never, ever would have expected us to find even microbes in my lifetime. Wow. It may not be it, but it's pretty exciting. Let's all keep our fingers crossed for life on Venus. You probably won't have seen it. It was on the headlines of the regular news for like a minute, and then everyone forgot about it because, you know, the world's ending. Pandemic, rise of fascism, end of democracy, global warming, the West is burning, and before that, Australia burned. I mean, you know, huge ice sheets are breaking up. Yeah, it's pretty bad. But you know what? There could be life on Venus. That's pretty cool. I will link the Scientific American article in the description. It's much better than any of the regular, newspaper articles. Not to disparage those newspapers, but, you know, obviously the Scientific American is Scientific American, so it goes into a lot more detail about the subject matter. It's so cool. Like, it just really strikes me what a crazy world we're living in now. That was not giant front headline news. I mean, there should have been articles all over the place entitled Life on Venus and stuff like that, and there aren't. It's so weird. Also, someone now needs to try to create a spoof of David Bowie's Life on Mars, but it's Life on Venus. I don't know that it quite fits the tune properly, but is there life on Venus? I'm excited about that. So I'm guessing that nowadays, even though getting to Venus is kind of difficult, probes to Venus don't tend to be extremely successful. Ooh, Exotic Bureau is pretty. We're probably going to see some scientists working on probes to Venus because we need to check that out. Lickety split. Remember when we thought there were microbes on Mars and then we didn't find any, but we only searched a very small place, a part of Mars. There still could be microbes there. A modern lamp. I'm actually going to keep that because some of the animals like modern furniture, so if they ever ask me for modern furniture, I can have that in my storage for them. Here, let's see, a ranch bookcase. No, I don't think so, actually. Okay. Maybe I'll give the exotic thing to Teddy. I'm not sure it's perfectly his style, but it might work. So, to continue this geeky, sciencey theme, I was thinking about the Drake equation. I mean, I think about this quite a lot. And I can't remember all the factors of the Drake equation, I'd have to pull it up on screen. But one thing that occurs to me is that as soon as you get to planet has the conditions for life and planet has life, every single step from there onwards to leading to a civilization which is capable of interstellar communication, you have to have the caveat that the planet remains stable for long enough for them to actually survive and continue evolving. Because look at how many times life on Earth was nearly destroyed. There was the Great Dying, the Permian something extinction. I know, I'm sorry, I'm not very good at all of the eras and epochs and stuff. I don't remember all of them. But yeah, the Great Dying, for instance, estimates are from anywhere from 70% to 90% of all life went extinct, which is pretty bad, need I say. And you also have other things like the extinction of the dinosaurs, which was caused by a huge impact. I mean, if that impact had been larger or had been in an even worse spot, actually it was in a pretty bad spot, but if that impact had been larger, maybe it could have wiped out all life on Earth and there wouldn't even have been the little tiny mammals left to take over the planet. And until now, I think that we could actually save ourselves from an impact like that because we have satellites and we do have space travel, even if it's very limited. All we have to do is throw something into an asteroid and just slightly change its trajectory so that it misses Earth, and we would be saved. And we're constantly pointing our telescopes at the sky, so we would know if it was coming. But you know, just a century ago, if something like that had happened, or 50 years ago, we wouldn't, well, 50 years ago, oh my goodness, I feel so old. When I was a kid 50 years ago would have been enough. Just a century ago, or like in the World War II era, we couldn't have done anything and we would have been destroyed by it. Also, like, look at Mars. Mars had an atmosphere a long time ago, but its magnetic core was too small. And it, instead of being a molten core, it started to solidify and it stopped producing a magnetic shield. So the solar wind from the sun was able to, over time, completely blow away the atmosphere of Mars. So Mars once had liquid water and it once had a climate which was probably more conducive to life, and now it doesn't. So, you know, it would be so easy for life to start developing on a planet, but the planet itself, just by its very nature and its size and things like that, is not suitable for long-term stability. Then you could also have the star not being stable and eventually killing life on the planet. So there are a lot of factors there. And another factor, which I think doesn't get considered much, is biology. Now, what I mean is this. Okay, think about how people criticize sci-fi, like Star Wars and Star Trek, etc., for all of the aliens basically looking human. I see this criticism a lot. But think about it. Maybe a bipedal body structure, even if not exactly like humans, maybe they'd have more arms or things like that. They might not have exact 5 fingers, but having a bipedal body structure where your torso and head are raised and you have your arms and your hands, which are tool makers, free for manipulating tools, may be necessary for technological life to develop. I mean, look at what we currently think are probably the most intelligent species besides humans on Earth, dolphins. Yes, I argue dolphins are that intelligent because, firstly, we have done a lot of testing on which shows that they probably have something which is like a proto-language. I might go into that more another time. I'm babbling a lot, I know. I'm so excited about science right now. Well, okay, you know what? I will go into it very, very, very quickly. There's this concept, I can't remember the name of it, I'm sorry. I might dredge it up and put it in the comments. Of a certain curve which you can create, like by graphing the words in conversation or in a letter, in any sort of communication. And different words show up with different frequencies. You have words which show up very frequently, like V and A, and then words which show up less frequently. And every language on Earth produces a pretty similar curve on a graph, showing that there is meaning being conveyed by this message. And when dolphin communication, all of the sounds they make, was graphed, it produced the same curve. It very heavily implies that there is genuine, complex meaning being conveyed by what they're saying. And that's only what they're physically saying. They could still, of course, have some body language communication, although I'd say not as much as land animals, because they're often very distant from each other in the water. But that tells you they're probably communicating a lot. There have been a lot of tests where they've tried to get dolphins to invent new tricks, where they try to communicate the idea to them, where they're saying, do tricks, and then they say, well, do a trick we don't know, we haven't seen before. This was, I think, probably on a Nova Science Now or a regular Nova episode, and the dolphins actually chattered to each other, and then they performed a new trick, which their human trainers had never taught them. And I mean, these are places where the dolphins are living sort of in a bay area, which is cordoned off, and they have very good lives. It's not like they're in some horrible place like SeaWorld. And even more intriguing is also that there have been studies where scientists have been able to teach dolphins to read. What I mean is that they would, instead of giving them verbal or like body language based symbols for signs for their tricks, they would instead teach them to read a piece of board which had a symbol for the trick on it, and they learned it. That to me is absolutely amazing. They are intelligent enough to say that symbol, which is just on a random sheet of paper, means something. That's amazing. I mean, look at your dog, even the smartest dog. If you show them a piece of paper with a symbol on it, they're just going to eat the paper or just sniff it. They have no idea. It doesn't mean anything to them. It's just, not that dogs are very stupid or anything, but it's not something they are capable of comprehending. It really isn't. Whoa, some giant moth thing there, yuck. So that really says they're very intelligent. Another thing about dolphins being intelligent is that dolphins, the marine biologists have observed baby dolphins and young dolphins actually playing with objects on the seafloor. And what they'll do is they'll pick the objects up and just drop them over and over with different objects and just watch them fall down. It's like they're interested in the water resistance and the buoyancy and why does that happen? Why do they fall at different rates? That really shows a lot of intellectual curiosity in them. All right, Monique, we'll talk to Monique and then we'll go back to talking about dolphins. So, okay, Fuzz, I've been thinking. I'm worried that the way I talk is dated. I have to stay hip, so can you think of something new for me to say? Leave it to me? Then please just go ahead. Oh no, I don't know what to say. She can't say darling too, that would be silly. I don't know what's hip. I really don't. I'm not a hip person. Just today I was thinking that I want to relearn cursive. Actually, I still remember cursive, I'm just not very good at it. La. That was a thing that people said once upon a time. Oh, la. La? You're totally sure about this, right? I won't sound dumb? No, you'll sound fine. Okay then, from now on, it's all about la with me. I feel like a whole new Monique now. Let me say it again. La. Alright, so I was saying about dolphins. All right, so basically dolphins, very, very, very intelligent. Oh, also, dolphins have a certain like call sign they can make, which is basically their name. It's not probably not exactly analogous to a name, but it's a call they make, and it's unique to them. So if they call it out, their mother knows it's them and not some other little baby dolphin. So they're very, 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 very intelligent, but they don't have hands. They don't have fingers. They have finger bones, but they're all covered up by their flippers. Same with whales, who are also very intelligent. So, dolphins have also been observed, beyond the cases of dolphins saving humans from sharks and things like that. Dolphins have also been observed hunting with humans. I saw this in a documentary. Again, I'm sorry, I don't remember. It's been years, so I don't remember which documentary it was. But there are dolphins in the Amazon River, and they actually fish alongside some of the local tribes. And what they do is they herd the fish into the nets, and then the fishermen give them some of the fish back. So it's a symbiotic relationship. And the fishermen say they did not train the dolphins to do this. The dolphins started helping them. So yes, dolphins are extremely intelligent. So why did dolphins not also develop technology and writing and all sorts of things? Because they don't have hands, and because how would you do it in the water? You have all that water resistance, and anything you would try to create would be eroded away by the water so much more quickly than on land. All right, I need to pay off some of my loan. My wallet is getting a little bit full. So look at that. And then elephants are also very intelligent. Elephants are the only animals so far that we have observed burying their dead, and not only their own dead, they've even been observed trying to kick over mast and soil onto human corpses and other animals. So they're also very intelligent, but again, well, all they have is a trunk. You can't do much with a trunk for tool making, can you? Very simple stuff, but nothing too complicated. Also, observing elephant language is really complicated because proto-language, whatever you want to call it, because a lot of it is body language based instead. Again, another documentary, I think it was about Gorongosa National Park. I probably could find it. They talked to a biologist who studied the elephant's body language, and they have a huge vocabulary. They communicate through physical gestures. So, yeah. And also to again imply that they are really communicating to each other. There was a civil war in that area, and at one point, soldiers actually killed and ate elephants. And now the elephants in Gorongosa hate humans. They're scared of humans, and whenever humans get near them, they act aggressive and try to threaten them and chase them away, and are even quite dangerous at times. Well, a lot of the elephants who behave this way are too young to have lived through that civil war. It's almost like their elders are telling them that humans are dangerous and kill elephants. So yeah, here are some candidates for highly intelligent species on Earth which have never developed advanced tool making and civilization or anything like that. And maybe it is in part simply because their biology limits them from doing it. There's sort of this feedback effect probably where with humans where we have tool making and we develop, and it helps us actually develop the parts of the brain which make us more intelligent, and it leads on to each other. And also tool making probably helped us communicate because we had to communicate to others how to build tools. Scientists have done experiments where they've tried to recreate stone flake technology, and it's actually really difficult. It's not as simple as just breaking two rocks together. And it's much easier to communicate to each other how to do it. And Neanderthals actually developed the first glue in history by burning a sort of tree sap, I think it was. And it's actually really complicated because the tree sap has to be burnt at a really specific temperature, otherwise you don't get a usable product. And again, it's how do they know all of this? How do they know when it's the right temperature? How do they communicate it to each other, to teach it to each other? Yeah, anyway, it's really interesting stuff. So I'm saying that you need the right body structure to become intelligent, to become a technological society. And also, look at all of the other apes out there. They have the right general body structure, but they're not intelligent enough. So you just need that perfect marriage of the right brain and the right body structure to allow you to make tools. Otherwise, you'll just never become a technological species. So maybe there are a lot of microbes and there's a lot of simple life out there, but not many Spocks. All right, we have a new villager, and I have just been babbling about science because I'm so excited. Sorry. Hi, nice to meet you. I'm Hugh, Snortle. I walked far with only the stars as my guide and found myself in this town. Oh, by the way, my sign is Capricorn. Nice to meet you, Snortle. Capricorn. Am I a Capricorn? I have no idea. I was born January 8th, 1991. I'll have to check that. Say goodbye to Mr. Sun, Snortle. Oh, that's right. You wanted to chat about something, right, Snortle? Squirtle. If he ever asks me to change his catchphrase, I'm changing it to Squirtle. Carmia, are you going to enter Sunday's bug-off, Snortle? No, I don't want to ever do that again because it's traumatic. Tortimer, the mayor, was bragging about how he lined up a great prize. I guess that's what they call the nervous excitement of old age, Snortle. Yeah, I'm calling him Squirtle. I'm going to have him say Squirtle if he asks for a catchphrase. Yeah, I have a very extreme phobia of bugs, and I really don't like events like the bug-off. I did try it once, and it was not great. Also, in much less cheerful and exciting news, I had a bug problem in my orchids. Now, it was my fault. It wasn't like orchids just magically get bugs for no reason or anything. Hi, Vesta. Oh, hey, Carmia. Hang on a second. I was just trying to think up a good nickname for you, Carmia, and I just thought out the best one ever. Want to hear it, Bafu? Bafo. Tell me. Oh, my friend, prepare yourself for the most awesomest nickname ever. Sweetie. Doesn't that have a nice ring to it, Bafo? Sure. Okay, Carmia, but remember, you asked for it. From this day forward, you will be Sweetie to me, Sweetie. Well, that's really cute and sweet. I really like Vesta. I hope she stays. So yeah, it was my fault. I was growing my orchids in the front of the house, which overlooks the communal courtyard of my apartment complex, with a bunch of trees and garden stuff and hedges and things like that. Yeah, I wonder why I was having problems and why did I come into my house? I need to sell the fruit. And I had, on top of that, a grow light because that part of the house is really dark. And I thought, oh, I get so few bugs here in my apartment. It's not going to be an issue. It was. And something, all it takes is one. Something got into the pot and it laid eggs. And yeah, and I feel really sick talking about it. Yeah. And even worse, I took them all, repotted them, threw out all their old media, even though it's lava rock and can theoretically be reused, not when there were bugs in there. And I sprayed them with poison, every single one. And guess what? 2 weeks later, they came back. Turns out I used the wrong poison. It wasn't a miticide. I think I needed a miticide. So hopefully I can get this sorted now. Then I found them again, and I had to redo the whole thing again with miticide. Yeah, it was very traumatic. I have a very extreme phobia of bugs and it triggers my OCD a lot. So I don't know what's going to happen with my orchid collection. Honestly, if something happens again, I'm probably just going to have to give them up. I can't. I don't even know how I handled it twice. But yeah, the thing is, I think it was like, they were mites, like spider mites, and the spray that I used before, the first time, was not anything that kills spider mites. So, because they're like arachnids, I guess. So I manually just sprayed most of them off, but I didn't actually kill everything. Plus this is, so yeah, hopefully I can get them clean and never have this happen again. I have moved them into the guest room, which gets a lot of bright sun, so that's good for the orchids. I don't need the light. But it looks out over the garage, so there's no nature, no nothing there. I never find dead bugs in that room, ever. So, like, stuff really doesn't get through that deck door, which leads out to the balcony, because I don't use the balcony. And so it should be okay. And I'm going to get a different, because the one I got was a little bit too strong. It wasn't really formulated for houseplant use, but for garden use. I need to get a different miticide and treat them again in 2 weeks to make sure that if anything was left or survived that poison treatment, it's killed. And if I can't get them clean and keep them clean, I have to give them up. We'll just see what happens. It would be a real shame. I love orchids. I love watching them grow. I love watching their little leaf tips coming out and new roots coming out and watching them recover if they came, if they were in bad shape. I really enjoy it, and I haven't yet had any orchids bloom in my care because I only started this year. So it would be a real shame, but it's my mental health here. A few years ago, I could not have even dealt with the amount that I have dealt with. I would have hurt myself. Not horrible cutting or anything, but I had a habit of scratching myself when I was stressed out. I did that a lot when I was younger, which I don't do anymore because I now live in a cold region where I don't very often have to deal with being exposed to my fears. And what the heck is that? Yikes. Hopefully that'll leave when I change area. So we're gonna have to see what happens. My advice for growing orchids. Firstly, maybe using a systemic pesticide in the summer is not a bad idea. Just, spray a bit in their pots, let them absorb a bit. And don't grow them near a window. Especially don't grow them near a window that looks out over a garden. And especially, don't use a grow light if you can help it, because it's a great big light saying, "Hi bugs, would you like to land on these, or would you like to first come into my house and then land on these orchids?" Yeah, it was really dumb of me. And I did notice some stuff, getting into that area before, but it wasn't, and I just somehow, it didn't connect in my brain that this is a problem and I should stop. I just sprayed the window more frequently and stuff like that. But it's no, lights attract bugs. I actually, all summer and most of autumn and spring as well, I never turn the lights on at night because it attracts bugs. I have strategically placed night lights in my house, which are just enough light for me to see by so I can walk around without bumping into things, but not enough light that a bug would see them from outside and be attracted to the house and come in. And it works very well. So yeah, it was my fault. Actually, my mom, two of the orchids that I have, I'm just babysitting for her, and she had them for 2 years in our old house, and she never did anything for them besides put ice cubes on them, which you shouldn't do because they don't like cold water, especially not freezing cold water. But she did it, and she never used any sort of pesticide or anything to do anything, and they never got pests. They never had a problem. So yeah, it's clearly my fault. I mean, it doesn't really help make me feel better, but it's clearly my fault. It is. I was stupid. I shouldn't have done it. So yeah, hopefully they'll be okay in the guest room. And also, as long I can spray the guest room balcony door regularly just in case, but it's, not as likely to be a problem. So we'll see what happens. Yeah, I'm still really stressed out. Ugh. So I'll just have to see what happens. I mean, most people can handle shit like this better than I can, and my advice is, again, bugs come from outside. So don't open windows all the time. Don't open your windows, and don't do crazy stuff like put a grow light in front of a window. That'll attract bugs. Yeah. Anyway. Yeah, I don't want to be don't get orchids. If you can handle the potential risk for that. Another thing is, if you buy a new orchid, treat it with some prophylactically, just to be sure, and keep it quarantined from the other orchids for a few weeks just to be safe, and stuff like that. Especially if you buy an orchid at a garden center. Garden centers do not take care of their plants very well. I actually saw some not Phalaenopsis orchids at the garden center. I'll pop up some pictures. They were really pretty, but I did see some signs of potential pests on them. Yeah, some damage on the flowers, and I actually saw 1 or 2 things on the leaves which looked like pests. So yeah, I'm on garden centers. But anyway, yeah, we'll see what happens. Like I said, my mom's orchids went 2 years with no problems, and she did nothing for them. She used terrible fertilizer. She watered them terribly. She didn't use any pesticides systemic pesticides, and they never had a single peep, no problem. So yeah, it was my fault. Oh, also, bonus, it was near the front door. The front door is probably the least secure door of your house because you open it a lot. In fact, I had twice had people from the census come ask me questions, so that was more door opening than I was really comfortable with. So yeah, it's probably that. We'll just have to see. I mean, as said, bugs don't get in by magic. If you're having bug problems, they're getting in somehow. Anyway, I don't know, I'm just babbling a lot, I'm sorry. It's the first episode in a while. Let's see. The exam wasn't too bad. It was, I mean, it's a UK school. I'm studying with the Open University, and they like essays. They like essays a lot. Almost every single assignment is an essay. If it's not an essay, then it's some sort of group activity where we write mini essays in the forum and discuss things with each other. It's pretty much how it goes. Let's see, I need to pick some more fruit and stuff. Oh, hello, Bree! Listen up, I've got a reggae shirt that'd be perfect for you. Interested? I'll sell it for 280 bells, okay, darling? You know what, I don't want to make Brie upset, and I think I could probably just give the reggae shirt to someone else later, so let's do that. Wait, I said no by accident! Ah! Haggling like this is so tacky, darling. Randomly asking your neighbor if they want to buy something from you is also tacky. Anyway. Also, being neighbors with my dad is awesome, and everyone should aspire to be neighbors with my dad because I've mentioned that he just keeps a whole bunch of his old tech stuff, and you know, he thinks it's not really worth the fuss of reselling it, the value isn't good enough, etc. Well, he not only gives me a bunch of his old tech stuff, which is still good, he also was willing to give it to neighbors. Once upon a time, we had some neighbors in the place we lived in before this in Detroit, and the neighbor was mentioning that his phone was really old and crappy, and my dad just said, hey, I have an old phone and it's still good, so, you know, give me your phone, I'll take out the SIM card and swap it, and you can have my new phone. My old phone, which is still in really good shape. And he did. I mean, he's just like, hey, have a free phone. And he also is usually pretty happy to, like, you know, mow their lawn when he's mowing his lawn and stuff like that. He's a very good neighbor, actually. I would not mow someone else's lawn, but then I wouldn't mow my own lawn either. It's a good thing I live in a communal apartment building where they have a gardening service take care of stuff like that, because I would never do it. Yeah, townhomes and apartments are the way for me. I suppose technically it is a townhouse, not an apartment. I just call it an apartment a lot. Anyway, it's not big. It's like 2 bedrooms and the second bedroom is tiny. In fact, now that I'm keeping the orchids in the guest bedroom, I'm going to have to move them out whenever my parents visit and just keep them somewhere else in the house temporarily because there's no space for a bed. Yeah. In general, there isn't space for a bed, so we're just going to have to get some sort of temporary fold-out bed or something like that for when they visit. It's a little bit awkward, but what can you do, right? I cannot believe when I see some people, like, their whole family's living here, and I'm like, it's not that big. I mean, it's a nice size, but it's not like a huge family kind of place. Although the upstairs units, I believe, do have 3 bedrooms, not 2. Anyway. Hello, Tom Nook. Oh, in video game news, I've been playing Dr. Mario. I know, weird. I'm finding myself bizarrely addicted to it. I've been playing the Dr. Mario for the SNES. It's like a Tetris and Dr. Mario combo game. And I'm very bad at Tetris. I don't know why, I just cannot do it at all. But in Dr. Mario, I actually find I can do it. I've made it all the way to level 20 and I even beat level 20. Now, after level 20, you unlock some secret extra levels and I can't beat those. It's too much. It's way too difficult, but I'm really surprised. I'm very bad at puzzles usually. So it's kind of amazing that I can even do it at all. I tried Kirby's Avalanche, which is basically Puyo Puyo, and I can't do that at all. I'm terrible at it. Mainly because I have you compete against an AI, And it's like, if you give me a board and tell me to clear it, I can do it eventually, but I can't also compete against an AI at the same time. You're faster than me. Hello, Squirtle. Snortle. So, oh yeah, why did you want to talk to me anyway? Tell me anything. Guess what? I'm into finding orange furniture right now, Snortle, because you could climb on top of it and do a pose like in the movies. When I get a hold of orange furniture, I'll show you those poses. I'm sorry, Nook doesn't have any orange furniture, and I have never bought any orange furniture. Why would I? That sounds weird, actually. Hi, Vesta. Hello. Savannah moved out. You know what? I would say that actually even more than I would say the main complaints I have of Animal Crossing are tied into Animal Crossing both trying to encourage you to play and guilt trip you into playing every single day, and essentially punishing you if you don't. And the two main things are that that your house gets infested if you don't play regularly, if you go a week without playing, and that your animals will move out without you having any control over it. And on top of that, not only do you need to play regularly, you need to seek out and speak to every single one of your animals, otherwise they will move out. And I don't want to play Animal Crossing every day. It's a fun game and I like it, but I don't want to play it every day. And I don't like when games try to bully you into playing every day. I think that it's just not my thing. That's one of the things I have with mobile games. They're always trying to bully you into playing every day, and it takes all the fun out of it. I really like Teddy's house. I've mentioned this before, but it's really nice, actually. It even has this Victorian wallpaper and everything. Watcher, how's life, champ? Man, I skinned my elbow and I've been picking at this scab all dang day. Once I started, I just couldn't stop. What's wrong with me, Right On? Enough of that, though. You got something to say to me, Right On? Yo, pop quiz, champ. Ready? If I were a banana, how ripe would I be? You wouldn't be black, but you'd definitely be ripe. I didn't think I had that many spots on me, Right On. I didn't mean it like that. That was a really weird question. Who asks questions like that anyway? Hey, what's up, Night Owl? It's gotten pretty dark, huh, Right On? So yeah, Right On, what did you need anyway? Speak to me. Champ, quick favor, could you go over to Hughes for me? As long as you can deliver it within 1 hour, that'll be fine, Right On. Okay, I'll just have to find him. Right On, take really good care of it, Right On. Okay. I think I'm just going to do this favor for Teddy, and then I'm going to go see KK because it is a Saturday evening, and that'll be it because I've spent a lot of time babbling. We're at 37 minutes, my goodness. But I really had to share with you the possibility of life on Venus, and then I had to talk about a whole bunch of other stuff like dolphins and elephants and stuff. Oh, hi Hugh! Good evening. Did you know it's already 8 o'clock? So, oh yeah, why did you want to talk to me anyway? Delivery! My throat's getting a little scratchy too. Oh, this is from Teddy, isn't it? Huh? A burglar's shirt? I guess someone's telling me I need to change up my style, Snortle. Thanks, Garmia. And say hi to Teddy for me, Snortle. Okay, sure. You know, oh yeah, Bree never gave me that shirt because I accidentally asked to haggle for it. It was an accident, I wasn't paying attention. So, yes, my throat is definitely getting a bit, Come here. Okay, let's just tell Teddy I delivered it. It's not like I really care if he'll give me anything in return. It's just, you know, tell him you did it. It's polite. It's gotten freezing out. Muscle freeze, Right On. By the way, Right On, what's going on with you today? I delivered it. You did it, Right On. How did Hugh react to it? It was alright. Hey, easy there, Tiger. I'm not asking you what you thought of it. Oh, Hugh said that? For real? Wow, sorry, that was totally out of line, Right On. Well, whatever. I still want to thank you, so hold your hand out, okay? Here you go, all for you, a ranch tea table. That's okay, don't be shy. Hey, listen, killer job with the delivery. Seriously, I think you could go pro, Right On. Thank you. I actually like the ranch tea table, so that works out. Speaking of being freezing out, it's actually quite cold today. Autumn has come early to Detroit this year, and I couldn't be happier. I hate summer and I love winter. So yeah, it was last night, I think it got down to 4 degrees Celsius. I really don't understand Fahrenheit, okay? And what's the point of learning Fahrenheit? Because it's an unscientific system anyway. Anyway, yes. It's pretty cold, and I think the highest temperature it got to over the day was 15 degrees Celsius, so it's pretty cold. And it's still going to be pretty cold tonight. I think that on Monday it's expected to warm up a bit, but yeah, it's pretty cold, and I'm happy. Although I think I might need a warmer blanket because it's kind of cold at night. Hey, Carmia, you here for a song? I told you my voice is giving out on me. I've been talking so much. You know it. Cool. Hey, if there's something you want to hear, just give it to me straight. I'm taking requests if you're giving them. Not this time. You like surprises? No problem. I got my axe ready, so take a seat. Alright, get ready to dig the riffs on this ditty. KK Safari. Hey, thanks for listening. I hooked you up with a boot of KK Safari. You know, a bootleg? You can play it on the Box Packager pad anytime. It's cool, no charge. Those industry fat cats try to put a price on my music, but it wants to be free. You be sure to drop on by and catch me again, man. I'll be around. Alright. I liked that one. You know, I was almost thinking of just winding down right now, but I want to see what it sounds like in my house because it usually sounds different. And that's always a nice way to wind up a Saturday evening. Bye, Monique. Good night. It just turned 9. Oh, actually, I'm going to leave this one here. It sounds really good. Let's try this one upstairs. It's a very nice, relaxing tune on the KK Choral to come home to. I like this one, but I'm ready to try something different. So let's see what KK Safari sounds like. No, I always find this a little bit awkward. Pretty cool. Yeah, that works, that works. All right. Okay, so I'm finally back and we had a very long evening discussing science. Sure, why not? I figured that probably a lot of people missed that in the headlines and it's possibly some of the only good news in 2020. So there we are. There might be life on Venus, we're not sure, but it's a possibility and that's pretty cool. All right. Thank you so much for watching and as always, please stay safe. Until next time, bye bye.